Hello and welcome to We, Us, I, Kalalito. And today we have yet another topic to discuss, to ponder on, and let it linger in our minds as we ask, what is greatness? We have heard about this term everywhere, in the news, in sports, in every craft that man desires to do. We have the greats in science, in technology, in sports, in business, whatever man has found his hands to do. We have always given that term to those who have risen, for those who have risen above ordinary, normalcy. And today we want to look at what is greatness? What does it mean? Upon its definition from the dictionary, it doesn't give a clear mental image what greatness is to me, because it states that it's the quality of being great, eminence or distinction. To me, I can't visualize anything from that. Eminence, distinction. Eminence, it doesn't ring a bell. But as we look at distinction, it gives us a mental image of what it truly means to be great. In this definition, we see that it is the excellence that sets someone apart or something apart from others. That sets someone apart. Excellence. Now that I can picture. Excellence that sets someone apart. Now the question is desire for greatness ours? Because we like to believe the hunger to be great comes from within, that it's something deep, personal, and almost sacred. But thinkers like René Girard, I hope I'm not butchering his name, René Girard, challenge that completely. They argue you don't desire things independently. You copy desire. So when you admire Alexander the Great, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Lamine Yamal, the star boy, when you admire LeBron James, Stephen Curry, when you admire Kobe Bryant, when you admire Tiger Woods, when you admire Serena Williams, when you admire other greats in whatever field that you love, you are not discovering a personal longing for greatness. You are inheriting a culturally approved desire. It is society that embeds this desire of greatness within us. Because if society celebrated obscurity instead of fame, you wouldn't want to be remembered. You'd want to disappear. You'd want to live a life of normalcy, a life that you don't care about outside validation, that you don't care if in the good conversations. So the question becomes, is greatness truly human nature, or is just imitation? Is it something that we have within ourselves that is from our own understanding of greatness, that we understand why we need to have this excellence? It comes from us. It is our nature to be excellent, or is it something that we acquire because society has come up with this grading of men, that they are great men, they are ordinary men, and they are those who are not even on the grading, they're just there. So is it something that we have acquired from society, or is it a nature that we have within us, that each and every one of us strives to be great, that it's not tangible, but it's felt within us. It's something that pushes you. It's something that guides your intuition, that makes you give yourself fully into the craft that you love or that you want to be great in. Is it our human nature, or is it imitation? why do people pursue greatness? Have you pursued greatness? Does it bother you does it ring in your mind? Or society hasn't programmed you to think of greatness? That you don't copy that desire. It is not in you to be great. That's not you. And another question you might ask is, if we all want greatness, why don't we all pursue it? What's the harm? If we all want to be great, why can't we all be great? Why do we have selected few? Why do we have at least 10 players, 15 players, probably in each and every sport? Over the years they have been playing the sport, we have quite a few number of greats. Why can't we all pursue greatness? If humans are truly glory hunters, then why should we see? Why? Then we should see it everywhere. We should see each and every person striving for glory, striving for greatness. If we all want greatness, truly everyone would give their all in that craft. We would have 1 billion, I suppose, or, according to the number of lovers of the game, we would have roughly maybe 1 billion soccer players. We would have, I don't know, maybe 1 billion, or they would be divided equally: soccer players, basketballers, netballers, whatever. I hope you understand my chain of thought. We would have so many people giving their all to be great in this sport, because it's not a selected few that love the sport. You can find several millions that love volleyball, that love basketball, that love rugby, that love this sport. So why is not everyone giving themselves to the sport they love, to writing, to public speaking, to business, to whatever it is? Why aren't we giving our all? We should see it everywhere. We should see it in teachers. We should see it in lawyers. We should see it in doctors. Everyone is giving their all to be great, to be in the higher echelon of men, that they will be called great, that they will be remembered. But when we look at reality, it tells us a different story. Most people fear judgment, because when you're in the high echelon of men, all eyes are upon you. You are the light. And when the light goes off, when the light is out, it's noticed, it's seen. And that's difficult for people to work with in their lives. As we can see how athletes are treated. For example, in football, if they were paid a high amount of money to go to a certain club, for example, Florian Wirtz to go to Liverpool, he's getting a lot of judgment because of how he's playing. That's not a player worth spending all that money for when he can't provide results. So there is judgment when we want to be great, because people judge us with the lens of what we are trying to achieve. People judge us in the lens that we are at the top, and when we are there, we don't need to make mistakes. They view us as perfectionists, that we have to be perfect. We have to be the best when you're at the top. No mistakes. You have to be the best. And most people can't deal with that stress. Most people can't deal with that pressure of the judgment of the rest, because people are now looking up unto you. People are looking to you for direction. People are looking to you for guidance. People are looking to you for the way forward. And if you're not ready, judgment will come your way. They will ask, then why are you great? Why are you given such power and responsibility if you can't give us the way? So most people fear the judgment that comes with greatness, because it demands something of us. It's a trade. That for you to be great, there's something that you have to exchange. It's a sacrifice. I sacrifice to be ever on the spotlight. And most people avoid the spotlight because your mistakes will be seen. Because when you're unsure, others will see it. Your moment of nervousness, others will see it. When you're off, when your game is off, others will see it because you're at the spotlight. And it's a difficult place to be because we don't want to be there. We don't want our mistakes to be seen by the whole world. We don't want to be a laughing stock. We don't want memes to be made about us. We don't want to be remembered as failures. And maybe that's why most people don't chase success. Most people don't chase greatness. Because you are the light. And people will look up to you. People will follow you. And when you lead them to the ditch, they'll complain. Where are you taking us? I thought you were the light. Why are you taking us? Where are we going? You don't know the way? I thought you were the light. You'll face confrontation. You'll face condemnation. People will speak evil about you behind your back. People say you don't deserve it. You're too lazy. Other people are better than you. It comes with a lot. And maybe others fear it because of the judgment that we have said, and the eyes of men are upon you. They look at you. They scrutinize you, each and every detail, each and every mistake. And most people choose stability over risk. We don't want to risk. Because in chasing excellence, what if we fail halfway? What if we don't reach the end? How many LeBrons are there? Just one. How many Messis? How many Ronaldos? How many Yamals? Just one. It's a cruel journey. Not many make it. Most of them die in the mountain before they reach the peak. It's a risky climb. The air becomes thinner at the top. It's not our cup of tea. We want somewhere we can breathe easily, without pressure, without others on our back. And they don't chase legacy. Most people don't chase legacy. They build quiet lives. They just want to live with their families. They just want a good life. A good life is a good house, a good car, enough money to travel the world, to take care of their parents, to live healthy till 100. That's enough for most people. Who doesn't want to live a good life? Who doesn't want to have a good car, a good house, go to Italy once or twice, travel around Europe, go to Africa, see the world, go to Asia, see the world, man, travel. And so the question is glory really universal or just loud? It demands so much of us. It demands a lot. That most of us aren't willing to risk. To be put on the stage each and every day. And whenever we make mistakes, we are at the forefront of the headlines. You didn't tie your shoe. You didn't do this. You didn't say hi. You didn't say sorry. You didn't wash your face. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. Each and every detail, they scrutinize you. We don't want that. Sometimes we just want to wake up and look like a homeless guy, No offense, but you get my point, right? You just don't care how you're dressed. You just want to get out of the house looking shaggy. And no one will care because you just live an ordinary life. But when you're great, you have to be meticulous in all that you do. How you put on your shoes, how you walk, how you do this, because eyes are upon you. Every decision you make, how you speak, how you greet hands. You find someone on YouTube says that they read body language. Now they know Trump was asserting dominance when he was shaking someone's hand. I mean, there's just, it demands a lot. These positions of greatness, I'm not saying Trump is great, I'm just illustrating how meticulous people are with each and every decision that you make. They want to lip, it's called lip syncing. They lip sync to know what you said with someone, what you spoke in their ears. Too much, they're doing too much, Maybe you're mistaken, about glory, that it's not universal. Maybe we mistake visible ambition for universal desire. Yeah, some people have ambition, but maybe it's not a universal desire. Some people want to live quiet lives, while others want to chase ambition. It's not for all of us, it's for a few of us. And another great question is, even if you achieve greatness, does it matter? Let's assume we all have to be great. Let's say humans do want to be remembered. Now enter Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius. He gives us a good illustration, dismantling my idea of greatness. He states that people who remember you will die. So why do you want to be remembered? People who will remember you will die. Their memories will fade. History itself erodes. So what are you chasing? People will remember you. People who remember you will die. Their memory will fade. And history itself erodes over time, over decades, over centuries. So what are you chasing with greatness? What are you struggling with? Why do you need to be excellent in your craft? Why do you need to be excellent in anything? Why do you need competition with the rest? Why? For what reason? It's a temporary echo in a collapsing system. Why be great in a world where we all die and no one will remember? Why be great? Why struggle? Why toil? Why toil? To be like Alexander the Great. Why toil? To be remembered. Like Winston Churchill. Why toil? To be remembered. Like the great writers E.B. White. Why toil? Why? Is the desire for greatness actually rational or just emotional? Do we just want up to juice up our emotional feelings? Do we want to give ourselves that feeling that we are more important than how we are currently? Why be striking? Why be a striking figure like Jesus Christ, who lived I don't know how long ago, and people still talk about him? Why be remembered? What reason, what purpose do you want to be a great man or a great woman? Why? Why? Is it rational to be great? What does it give you? Greatness? Or is it just an emotional high that we receive from time to time, or that we don't even receive, that we have pressure placed upon ourselves? Why? And maybe it's not glory that we seek. Maybe it's fear. What if the desire to be remembered is actually fear of being forgotten? Fear of insignificance? Fear of death? You strive for excellence because you fear you'll be forgotten. You fear you'll be just another human and your efforts put to waste. You fear that you'll not be important as you were before. You fear to die. And that's why some people might think they're chasing glory, but they're actually afraid. Afraid to be nobodies. Which gives us an interesting question. The humans are not running towards greatness. They are running away from meaninglessness. So we have a desire to be meaningful in life, but that doesn't mean we want to be great. So glory, is it a pursuit or a coping mechanism? Is it a pursuit of or meaningful desire to be excellent in all we do? Or is it a coping mechanism of the fear that we have inside of us? What is pushing us? What is making us strive to be great? Why? For even Buddhism calls it a desire to please our egos, the pursuit of greatness. Why? What are we seeking with greatness? And if you truly wanted greatness, why does it destroy so many who get it? Look at those who have achieved greatness in their lives. They struggle with privacy, media following them everywhere, everyone wanting an autograph, everyone wanting to be around them. And some of them have identity confusion when they finally come to their retirement and they were used to playing their sports, they were used to that fame, and slowly people forget them. And now they wonder, who am I? I thought I was this great human being that was loved by everyone. But now they're this old man or woman who nobody recognizes. Who nobody recognizes. Oh my God. Recognizes. What? Recognizes. Oh my days. Who nobody recognizes. They struggle with that identity confusion. Because 20, 30 years of their lives, they were always on our screens. People wanted to take photos with them. People wanted to be around them. But as they got older, they were wondering, no one is around them. They don't receive the same fame. They don't receive the same attention. It strikes them. And some of them depend on the validation of others to constantly want them, to seek after them, to want to be around them. And when they lose that validation, they lose themselves. And we see glory doesn't stabilize them. It fractures them. It wounds them. It gives them a false confidence, or it gives them a desire to hide for those who lack privacy, a desire to alienate themselves from society, because in as much as they have achieved greatness, now they want to separate themselves from the people who appreciate their work, because now they don't have time to themselves, to be just themselves. What an irony that is. And the final question is, why would humans naturally desire something that often breaks them? Why would you desire something that denies you privacy, that denies you the opportunity to be yourself? So what do humans actually want? Maybe the desire for greatness is something that we have learned through culture and not natural. That maybe most people don't pursue it. They use it as a coping mechanism because they fear to be forgotten. They fear death. They fear to be insignificant. And we see it doesn't last, because you can stay 20 to 30 years in your field as the greatest, and over time, people forget you. You get old. You can't play it anymore. And now you're at the sidelines. Someone else is rising the ranks of greatness. And you, just another player, just another person. And it leaves us with this question, or it leaves us with this tension, that humans are not glory seekers or glory hunters. They are meaning seekers. And sometimes they confuse meaning with being remembered, with fame, with acceptance. And that's why some people, or most of us, aren't in the pursuit of greatness. Most of us strive for meaning, for our lives to be meaningful. And what brings meaning to your life is your family. The projects that you have, the future that you're planning for, the car that you want to buy, the job that you want to get to give your family a good life. You've seen your parents struggle, you've seen your siblings struggle to help you, to fend for you, and now you want to return the favor. That's meaning to you, working for your family, to give them a better life. And you can find meaning in different ways. And that's why some people, or most of us, don't seek greatness. We don't seek for glory. We are not glory hunters. Because we are satisfied with our quiet lives. We are satisfied without the fame. We are satisfied without the crowds. We are satisfied without the external validation. We are satisfied being ourselves. We don't want to chase fame. We don't want to chase validation from others. Those same people who criticize us. Those same people who wag their finger at us when we make mistakes. Even though we're human. They want us to be extraordinary. They want us to be robots. Yet we're human. That's not what we're chasing after. We are just simply chasing for meaning. While that argument does carry weight, or it does pack a punch, I know it's cliche, nonetheless I'll use it. I argue against it because I believe that might be the wrong decision. That may be the wrong definition, sorry. Because humans aren't glory hunters for fame, I believe. The fame is unstable. It's even destructive at times because we have seen what fame has done to others, how they have been infatuated by fame. People following them, people wanting pictures from them, people stalking them. Some people have been affected, severely affected. Some people have had their lives being ruined because of fame. But I'm not talking about fame. I'm talking about excellence, as we discussed earlier when we said distinction, that greatness is a distinction. It's a distinction. It's a distinction. And the dictionary states that excellence that sets someone or something apart from others. And for me, greatness is not being known by everyone. It's not being remembered forever. I believe greatness is exhausting your potential and fully expressing what you are given. Now, before we argue, let's define the terms correctly. Because if greatness means becoming who you are meant to be, then the question changes. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to fulfill the potential inside of them? Who doesn't want to have that yearning inside of them that each and every day you wake up, you give it your all, not halfway, not 20%, not 30%, but 100 each day, because you have one life. We don't have 10 lives, it's just one. Why don't give it your all? What will you lose? I'm not saying give it your all to something that you hate, but if it's something that you love and you give it your all, what are you losing? What is it taking away from you? And it's a passion that you have inside of you. It's a love that surges within you. Why not give it your all? Why not give it 100% in this one life? Where would you be if you gave it your all to that one thing that you love, that's always on your mind? Because you don't need statistics. You have a pulse. And when you give yourself to that craft, when you give yourself to writing, when you give yourself to basketball, when you give yourself to football, when you give yourself to whatever job you have, whatever business that you're doing, whatever you want to do, farming, I don't care. Just give it your all. Because yes, we might argue that most people don't pursue greatness. I say most people suppress it. Because deep down, people admire excellence. What makes you love LeBron? It's not because he's just a nobody. It's because he gives himself to the craft that he loves. What makes you love Messi? What makes you love Ronaldo? What makes you love Yamal? It's because he has excellence in what he does. He's not a mediocre player that just goes to the field and gives silly passes. You see the excellence in his passes. You see his vision. You see his thinking. That's what draws you. Because people are drawn to mastery. People are drawn to mastery. What makes you love Tiger Woods? Because you see how he strikes the ball. You see how he thinks, how he's going to hit the ball to use the wind. So we see that it's something within us, that we are drawn to excellence. We are drawn to mastery. Why don't we admire people who are the same level as us? Why don't we admire our co-workers? I'm not dissing on your co-worker though. I'm just trying to state my point. Why don't you admire amateur players, for those who watch amateur football, because yes, they are good players, they are great players, but they're not there. They haven't hit the level of mastery that our inner body, yearns. So there is something that draws us to excellence. And it's not even our sport only. You can see someone from a different sport. Sorry, I'm using sports because I'm a lover of sports. But you can see it in writing. When you read a good piece, you can be drawn to it because you see the excellence in writing. You see the mastery of the simple language or the fresh words that have been used on the page. So we see that people feel something when they see someone fully committed to their craft. When you see a carpenter creating a beautiful chair, you are drawn to it because of the mastery. When you see the lines, when you see the curves, when you see the stitches on the chair, you're drawn to it because you see the level of mastery placed in that chair. Why? Because something in them recognizes it. Because something in you has recognized the excellence in that person, the effort that he has placed in, the time that he was willing to put into his craft, and it strikes you. You feel that pulse in you. And even if they tell you it's $1 billion, I bet you'll understand, because you see the excellence in them. You see the mastery in them. So you don't admire greatness randomly. You recognize it because it resonates with something in you. Because you are meant to be great. We are all meant to be great. Greatness is in each and every one of us. But most of us suppress it. And that's why you see us clinging to the greats in the sports that we love, to LeBron, to Curry, because we want them to fulfill what we didn't fulfill in our lives. we were not able to go the full way. So they live our dreams. They win championships on our behalf because we place ourselves in their shoes. We place ourselves in their shoes. We see ourselves as them because we also desire to be great. We have greatness within us. And this shows that imitation doesn't disapprove desire. It reveals it. Because Rene Girard said we copy desire. But let's think through it. Why do people copy desire? Why don't we imitate mediocrity, as we said earlier? Why don't we imitate laziness? Why don't you imitate someone who comes to the pitch and barely gives a good pass, barely runs, walks, doesn't score a goal? Why don't you imitate someone like that? Because even imitation, we select upwards. We look at the best. That's why they are called role models. Because you look up to them. Because you see qualities inside of them that are not in you. You see how they are graceful on the pitch. You see how they control the ball with ease when they're pressed by the opposing players. Because we don't just copy. We don't just copy. We copy what we perceive as greater, as higher, as better than us. So imitation isn't proof against greatness. It's proof that humans are oriented towards something they consider greater than themselves. That's why you love reading E.B. White. Because there's something in his writings that pulls you, that you read and you say, wow, what a writer. The way that he has structured his sentences, the thought that he carries from one sentence to the next, the way that he's able to remove clutter, the way that he's able to give you that mental illustration of what he's speaking about. That's why you look higher than yourself, because you see something that is amiss in you. You see how they're able to be composed under pressure while you scream in your local Sunday league football. In those high pressure situations, they're able to score the buzzer beaters while you can't, because we see something better in them than in us. Because we see something greater in them that is not in us. And some might argue that they want to live in obscurity, in hiddenness. As we look at the man who was most striking in the history of this world, I wonder. It's a theological debate, When we point to the life of Jesus Christ, he lived in obscurity for 30 years. And he's striking because he lived in this world, or it was posed that he lived. It's a debate, it's a debate about Christianity. It's a debate. We'll speak about that another day. But what is spoken about him is that it's supposed that he lived in this world for 30 years. And others use this argument that he lived 30 years in obscurity, no public recognition, no visible greatness. And in his teachings, he said, "Do your works in secret. Let the last be first. Whoever exalts himself will be humbled." And it flips my claim that what if true value is found in being unseen? But I refute that claim because obscurity wasn't the goal. Preparation was. When he stepped into purpose, he moved with authority. When he was healing the sick, when he did signs and wonders, he changed lives for those who were sick, for those who had leprosy, for those who are in difficult conditions. His impact was undeniable in the life of others. We see how he was a wonder to those who are living. He was a striking figure to the Pharisees and to the Sadducees. Even his teachings, he said, "Be faithful in little." And he said, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." We see that even he was not anti-greatness. He was anti-performance. It's not about the fame. It's not about validation. It's about purpose. And even in scripture, it constantly rewards multiplication of talent, stewardship, fruitfulness. And we see even God is not against greatness. So the question is God against greatness or against empty recognition? We don't want empty recognition. We don't want validation for the sake of validation. I believe fame is a byproduct of excellence. Yes, I know it's destructive. Yes, I know it steals privacy, as we said earlier. But most of the time, these individuals get fame because people are drawn to their excellence. People desire to be around people who give themselves to excellence, who give their lives to what they love. And we see people are willing to be around such figures, that they want to take photos, they want to follow them everywhere, they want to look at them as if they're not human, but they are human. And it shows how much we are wired to excellence, to each and every one of us, because it strikes a chord within us. We see, wow, this guy has truly given themselves, this woman has truly given themselves, and they have made it to be called great. So the fame is a byproduct of what they have cultivated because of what they love. Because we can see that sacrifice. We can see the time that they have taken in their writings, in their songs, in their speech, in their sport, in their craft. And they're just not remembered. We don't just remember them, we admire them. Look at Alexander the Great. Look at Pablo Picasso. History never eroded itself. Well, it did. I don't care. But we still remember them. How long ago? Oh my God. English is running away from me. How long ago did he die? How long has he been dead? But we still remember him, Alexander the Great. People still speak about him. Winston Churchill, MLK. People still speak about the great men who traversed this world. We don't study them out of obligation. Maybe some people do in their schools. But we are drawn to them because they went all in. They didn't do 50-50. They didn't do 20-30. They didn't do budgeting. They went all in. They didn't conquer halfway and said we'll give them the rest. If they conquered, they conquered all in. They pushed their limits. They refused average. They refused mediocre. They gave themselves to their craft. Albert Einstein gave himself to physics. He devoted his time. And people still speak about him. Nikola Tesla. If humans truly didn't care about greatness, why are these people the people we elevate? If we didn't care about greatness, why do we have Mount Rushmore? Why do we have a standard? Why do we have to remember these great men? Why don't we remember our neighbors the same way? Why don't we celebrate our neighbors the same way? Why don't we celebrate the average with the same intensity as these great men? You never heard about someone speaking about the neighbor the way they speak about Alexander the Great, with all the facts they have, with all the information they have. Why? And earlier we called it fear. The pursuit of greatness, we call it fear. But here I call it honesty. I call it honesty. Because it's an awareness, clarity, refusal to waste life. Because you get one. We get one life, one chance, only one. And we want to live it halfway. Only one chance. Doesn't that stand? Living it halfway, mediocre, anyhow, no plan, no vision, one life. And you don't want to give yourself an opportunity to go all in. One chance. And you want to do halfway. You want to give subpar effort. So maybe it's not fear driving greatness. Maybe it's the refusal to ignore that we can become, or what we could become. What would you become if you gave it 100%? If you accepted excellence and only excellence in your craft, whatever you decide to do, as long as it's something that you love, if you give it 100%, what would you become? What would you become if you gave it 100%? Not 20, not 30, 100. I know I sound like a motivation speaker, but it's true. If you give it your all, just your all in what you love, who could you be? What would you be in life right now? And earlier we discussed that there is something dangerous about greatness, that it breaks people. But does that make it unnatural? What doesn't break people? Love breaks people, responsibility breaks people, leadership breaks people. This means difficulty doesn't mean it's wrong. It means it's weighty. It is, because it has a cost. There's a sacrifice to be given. It needs time. It needs training to perfect your craft. Whatever it is, it needs time. In writing, in speaking, in sports, in politics, whatever it is, it needs time. In art, there's a sacrifice for you to fully give yourself to that craft, for you to give it time, your effort, for you to desire nothing but excellence and not to accept mediocre. It's a trade-off that we must be willing to partake in. But that doesn't mean it's false. It makes it serious. It makes it an intentional pursuit for each and every one of us. We have to be intentional in a pursuit of greatness, that it's going to cost us. But what doesn't cost anything? Everything costs something. Laziness costs something. Everything has a cost. What doesn't have a cost? Sleeping has a cost, that you're willing to just stay there and waste your time. Okay, I do love sleeping, so I'm not dissing on sleep, but you get my point. You can't sleep all the time. So everything has a cost. Everything has a cost. You just have to be willing to pay. And the point that I'm trying to make to you is, you have been blessed with the opportunity to choose. It's up to you to choose halfway, to choose normalcy, to choose ordinary, or to choose greatness, and to walk with it, being intentional and giving yourself to the craft. It doesn't have to be sports. I know there are some people who have given their all in their sports and have failed. They have not made it to professional level. It's not the end. It's not the only thing that you love. Find something else and give it your all. Find something else and give it your all. It's better to die trying than to live with the regret, I wish I knew. It's better you die trying, that you say you tried. I tried this, it didn't work. 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 I tried this. Than someone who says, I wish I tried. I wish I gave my all. Yeah, I know it might be painful that you tried all those avenues and it didn't amount to anything. But better you than no one who tried, than someone who didn't try, than someone who didn't put effort in anything, that they were just there. For me, I choose not to live halfway. I know you can argue that humans don't want greatness, that it is land, unstable, even dangerous. But I know this. I don't want to live a life where I hold back what I've been given, not for fame, not for applause, but because I've been given something. I feel it inside of me. Pause. Pause. It's embedded within me, and I intend to exhaust the potential within me. Call that ambition, call it delusional or delusion, call it delusion. But I refuse to believe that being human means settling for less than what you're capable of becoming. I don't want to live with regrets. I don't want to always say in my old age, I wish I knew. I wish I did this earlier. I wish someone told me. I wish. It's better I do it now. It's better I give my all, 100%, knowing that I gave my all, I did my best. It's better for me to leave this world that way than to leave this world with regrets, with my dreams, together with me in my graves. Let me exhaust them. Let me go out knowing I tried all avenues. I'll die peaceful, knowing I tried, rather than dying with multiple ventures with me. Oh, I didn't do this. I wish I started that business. I wish I started writing. I wish. Till when? The choice is unto you. This choice is up to you. Oh, today my English is failing me. The choice is unto you. It's up to you for you to choose. Greatness. It will cost. What doesn't cost anything? Everything has a price. Pick your poison. Laziness. Greatness. I'm not comparing the two, but for the sake, pick your poison. Greatness or normalcy.